Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, my wonderful people. How are you all doing? You are all welcome. Welcome to another edition of Discovery Time. How have you been? It's been a while. I've missed you all. Welcome once again to another awesome time. Um, it's Discovery Time. You are all welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for liking. Thank you for spreading the word. We are live. We are live. Last week I could not come because I was taking time to learn. You know what I always say? If you don't learn, you do what? You stop growing. So once in a while, we need to take that time. We need to take out that time to refresh. We need to take out time to, pour into ourselves so that we can bring newness in whatever we are doing so that we can grow. Because if you don't grow, you become stagnant and then you start dying. That's just the honest truth. So I took a time to pour into myself, to refill, to learn. And it was awesome. It was really awesome. You know, we take things for granted. We take things for granted a lot of times. And most of the time, what we take for granted is ourselves. And that's what I want to talk about. You know, most of the time, what we take for granted is ourselves. We take ourselves for granted. That's why we don't spend enough time to invest in ourselves. But if you take that time and invest in yourself, you get a lot back. You get a lot. Like I can't begin to measure because we can't. Hello, how are you all doing? Thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning in. Take out time to invest in yourself, even if it is, buying a very good book to learn, to read, and take out the wisdom in that book. We don't do that enough. Take out the wisdom in that book to fill yourself up and appreciate yourself. I mean, how many of us take out time to appreciate ourselves? And I'm not talking about being, arrogant. I'm not talking about that because some people are really filled with themselves, They're like, it's me. I know it's me. I can do that. I know. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about just taking the time and appreciating yourself. Hey, well done. You've done well. A little progress. You've done well. Last week, or no, 2 weeks ago, I had the privilege to have my daughter with me, and she said something. She said that most of the time we don't take time to enjoy the little progress we make in life because we are so focused on the big thing that we don't appreciate the little ones. We don't appreciate the little gains that we make. And that is such a big problem. It's a big problem. Don't spend your time appreciating others and forgetting to appreciate yourself. It doesn't have to be in the huge things, or major breakthrough, and then you sit down and you're like, yes, I got this major breakthrough. But even in the smallest things, let's learn to appreciate ourselves. That was what I was doing last week. Not appreciating, but taking the time to learn and also to reflect because the end of the year is almost here. And so taking the time to reflect and see how far the journey 2025 has brought me this far. See how far we've come. What is, there is still a lot to be accomplished. Absolutely. And that's the wonderful thing about life. is that you always have something to work towards to. That's wonderful thing. You have something to work towards to. But at least you can say, well, 2025, it has not been an easy year, but I'm grateful. I am grateful. I'm grateful for the journey so far. I am grateful that the little steps, has brought me this far. There's something that I said about moving forward. We think we can jump from A to Z without going through all the stages. You cannot jump life. You cannot jump life. There are some certain things you just have to go through it. Like a baby developing, we started the journey from somewhere. We started the journey as babies. We started the journey being, you know, carried even in the womb. And then gradually we, developed. We went from the stage of baby to toddler, and teenager, and so forth to what we are now. Maybe some of us are still teenagers, which is still good, but you not remain teenager forever. Do you understand? Life comes, in stages, and each stage demands that we take time, that we develop, that we appreciate as well that stage. So I took the time to make an inventory of how far life has brought me, to appreciate the good things, and to dare to say, yes, I need to change some things. I need to change. And one thing about life, I think I've said it before. I mean, I've said it countless times. But one thing about life, there are two constants: time and change. And whether we like it or not, those two are going to happen. Like the example that I gave from the stages we pass through in life, it's time and it's also change. Time comes and then the change comes with it. We need to change. We need to adapt to the time. We need to change to the time. So we need to change. And yet, when we think about it, we are so afraid of change, most of us. We are afraid of change. And we are also um, kind of like don't prepare ourselves enough for that change. And whatever you don't prepare yourself for, honestly, you don't really make the best out of it. You don't see you don't see how it can bless you. You don't also see the change or the things that you need to do to adopt and to be ready for that change, and therefore you don't make the best out of it. Preparation is the key. you know we've been talking about the workbook and it's out. Please, if you need a copy, let me know, because it will really help you on your journey of becoming. And one thing about becoming, like the word says, you continually become. You've never arrived. You continually what? Become. So you need to give yourself that time to become. You need to give yourself that time to become. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I want this session to be interactive. I really want it to be interactive. So if you have any question, if you want to know, some yeah, if you something more, please let me know. Put it in there so that I can read it out or see how we can answer it. I really want this session to be interactive on every platform. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm on LinkedIn. So on all the platforms, please let's make it interactive. Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in, by the way. You are all welcome. My name is Helen Aya. I'm an executive coach. Um, and so, yeah, just let me know if you have any questions out there that you want us to dive deeper into. I'm just talking about life in general and how how we forget most of the time to appreciate the little things in life and also ourselves. If you've made it this far in life, no matter the challenges, because we tend to focus on our challenges, we tend to focus on our problems, we tend to focus on the things that are difficult, that are not moving. And trust, like, I can tell you that we are all humans. Yeah, we do that. We really do that. We focus on our problems and we forget. Problems are there to be solved. There is a solution to every problem. And so the moment we focus more on our problems, we see or we don't see the solutions. We don't see the solutions that sometimes are just so close to us. We don't see the solutions. When you make your problem bigger than the solutions, it will consume you, to overwhelm you. You will not be able to see the obvious or the answers to your problems. There is no problem that, let me not say that, can't be solved. Sometimes the solutions are just close to us. And sometimes, yes, we need someone else to direct us to the solutions. So, taking out time to pour into yourself is very, very important. You know what you need to grow. I can't tell you what you need to do to grow. You know what you need to do. But I will say start with looking within, inside, within you. Start with within you. In the workbook, I talk about growth, progress, and in progress, I say growth. We kind of focus more on the outward of growth, while growth is both inward, upward, outward. Growth is, um, there is no just one way of growth. You grow in different ways. And so if you do not take out time to sit and think, okay, how am I growing, or what do I need to grow? And most importantly, to grow inward, we will miss it, because it's the inward growth that shows on the outward, that shows outside. It's the inward growth that will help you to also what? Stabilize, to be balanced. If we don't take time to grow inwardly, any small challenge will really challenge us and kind of like be like, um, yeah, take us to and fro. But when you take out time to grow inwardly, like be stable and grow deeper roots, it becomes difficult for you to be shaken. Then you really need a hurricane with, I don't know how many, like maybe about 300 whatsoever kilometers to really push you down. You need a hurricane to really push you down. If you take the time to grow inward and not rush things, grow inward. And the workbook, Living the P Code, will really help you on that journey of growth. It will help you on that journey of growth. If you need a copy, please do well to contact me. It will help you on the journey of growth. I want to ask a question. I don't know how I'm going to put it out there, but let's just start. What do you do um, when you are faced with a challenge? What do you do? When you are faced with a challenge, I know some will say, well, it depends on the challenge, which is true. That's the first place we need to check. It depends on the challenge, it depends on what exactly is going on. Um, but who do you turn to? Who do you turn to? Who do you go to when you have problems or issues, challenges? Who are the people around you? People is the P part of the workbook. Who are the people around you that you turn to, that you go to? They determine a lot. I told us that last week I took time to reflect, I took time to pour into myself. And part of the training that I got was around people. And mostly it was around offense. Offense. I mean, how many of us, how many of us have been one way or the other offended? I think all of us, I none exempted, right? If we are being honest with ourselves, we've all been offended one way or the other. It's part of working with people. It's part of living with people. It's part of being around people. We get offended one way or the other. Now, the most important thing is fig- finding out, or at least paying attention to the things, the triggers that lead to the offense. That's what I took time. That's what I really took time to go through. The those things that triggers offense. Sometimes because maybe the person offending you did not mean to offend you most of the time. Yeah. We take offense due to some certain things. And then I come to perception due to how we perceive some things from some people. And so, based on our perception on certain things, we will take offense. And that offense will lead to something else. And that offense will lead to us maybe also offending others. We forget that part. We forget the part that we ourselves can be the offenders because we stand on our right and think, well, he or she first offended me. He or she first did that. He or she first did that. And so I have the right to react the way I am reacting and cause offense. Now, if you are someone like me that tend to really think things through, take time to think things through, and also someone that is quick to maybe say, I'm sorry if I offended you first. If you're someone like that, you might feel, how should I put it, being taken for granted. Yeah, because you are forgiven, but at the same time, you are not forgiving to yourself. At the same time, you are what, not forgiving to yourself. That's why I started with how often do we appreciate ourselves? How often do we kind of like consider our own, like how we are to ourselves? We quickly forgive others, but we hold things within. We hold things inside us. Well, probably I caused it, or why did I react this way? And every time, within you, you are so, and without knowing, being that you actually might be causing offense to someone else. Last week really got me thinking. And I want all of us to really take that time, to take the time to think about how we are, the journey that we are on with ourselves. The first relationship that you must be in, which we always ignore, but the first relationship that you ought to be in is a relationship with yourself. And I want to challenge you, be honest. Can you be in a relationship with yourself? Be very honest. Can you honestly be in a relationship with yourself? If the answer is no, then you really need to Sit down and figure out why, how, what do you need to change? Because you cannot expect others to love you more than you love yourself. Please hear me out. You cannot expect others to love you more than you love what yourself. This is a very important lesson that I have, over the years come to learn. And I need all of us, anyone hearing me, please take it serious, because it is what you have is what you will give. So if you don't have self love, and again, I'm not talking about the arrogant, narcissistic way of loving, because that is not loving, that's an obsession. I'm not talking about that. If you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself, it becomes difficult for you to be in a relationship, in a healthy relationship with others, because it's how you are to yourself, you reflect. You somehow show it out. That's the inward growth, part of the inward growth I was talking about. Whatever you are to yourself, like it or not, you will reflect it out there. And so that's how others will perceive you and treat you like that. They will perceive you and treat you according to how you treat yourself, according to how you love yourself, according to how you take care of yourself, according to how you present yourself. It's so important, but we always overlook this. Look, it's not in how fancy you dress, the mask, the amount of mask we put on, be it with makeup, be it with pretense, whatsoever, the mask that we put on just to be presentable to others, while you are not accepting yourself, while you are not presenting yourself to yourself. Whatever you are not to others, honestly, you cannot be to, whatever you are not to yourself, sorry to say, you cannot be to others. So practice self love, healthy self love. I really need to like kind of emphasize on that. Good evening, my dear sister. You're welcome. And all joined on TikTok, thank you so much. You're all welcome. The truth really is, if you are whatever you are not to yourself, and please join me in this discussion. If you have any other view, I really want to learn. I want to hear it. If you have any other view, let us communicate. Let us learn from each other, because no one person has it all. I'm just talking from the experience that I have had so far, and if you have any other experience, share it so that we can all learn. But whatever you are not to yourself, one thing that I've come to learn, whatever you are not to yourself, you cannot be to others. We try and we push and we push. But at the end of the day, you realize because you are pushing something that is not from you, it becomes so difficult. And it becomes what? You maintaining it, sustaining it becomes draining, because it's not you. It's not coming from you, because you're not giving yourself that. So it becomes really straining. Now, I'm not saying we don't get tired. We do. We are humans. We are flesh. The flesh gets tired. It's normal. That's why we need to rest and you need to refill. But when you are constantly doing things that is not the real you, one way or the other, you will drain. You will like you will feel drained. You'll be so tired. So start with being that which you want to see others do unto you, and what you do to others, start being it to yourself. If you know you cannot, what I'm going to say is going to sound a bit harsh, but that's what we do to others. And I want you to ask yourself, will you like that? If you are not willing to be in a relationship with yourself, why are you pushing yourself onto others? Yes, I'm saying pushing yourself because you want others to love you, you want others to accept you, yet you are not willing to accept yourself. Is it fair? Is it fair to your surroundings? Is it fair to your loved ones? Is it fair that you are pushing yourself to people to love you when you cannot afford to give yourself that same love? Whatever you are not to yourself, please don't expect it from others. When we talk about knowing who you are, it is when you don't know who you are, you allow others to dump things on you and you just take it in. You just accept it and you think that's you. And so your self worth and everything depends on what others say about you, depends on the opinions, on the perception of others about you. And so whenever they withdraw that word, that value they have for you, you feel worthless. You feel like you don't belong. You feel like, and that's where the fear of rejection and the fear of abandonment comes in. There is so much we carry that we are not aware that we are carrying. And when you trace the root to where all these things are coming from, you realize that they are rooted deep within. That's why I say, check within you. There are some things we're expecting to get from outside us. You cannot get it from outside you if you don't first get it from within. Check within you. Seriously. Why do you want validation from others so badly? Why do you seek the validation of others so badly that you do anything and everything, including lying, including stealing, including cheating? Why do you seek for the validation of others so much? That just goes to show or say how empty, how shallow. I'm sorry I'm being harsh this evening, but sometimes we just need to hear the hard truth. Truth is something that no matter what, we can't hide. We can't hide it. No matter how you try to run away from the truth, it will still show up. In my dialect, I'm from Ghana, by the way. Those that don't know me, I'm a Ghanaian. In my dialect, we say that pregnancy is, you cannot hide it. Thank you so much, mommy. Absolutely. My mommy said, when you see yourself as a queen, people will also see you as a queen. Yes, so true. How you carry yourself is how others will address you, how they will carry you. And I am learning. I have to be honest. You know, the best the best coach, the best counselor, the best is you are when you have experienced some certain things, and therefore you can also bring from the perspective of that experience. And so there are certain things that have challenges of life have, taught me. And that's why I can boldly sit here and tell you some certain things. Look into the mirror, dare to look into the mirror and look inward, look deeply, look inward and ask yourself, what is it in me that I am not to myself, that I'm expecting from outside? If you don't see yourself, and for a long time, I honestly did not see myself as that queen, And so you don't treat yourself as that queen, and you're expecting others to treat you as a queen. Come on, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. See yourself as that queen. Anyone that is coming close to you will have no other option than to treat you like the queen that you are. Again, I'm not talking about being arrogant. There is a thing when you know your worth, you don't have to talk too much. You don't have to shout it. It's known. Even your silence speaks volume. You don't have to boast and you do you know who I am. Those people that talk like that are actually proving they don't know who they are. Because queens don't talk anyhow. Your words are expensive. So you count them. There are some things, honestly, I don't even want to like, how should I say it? Waste time. I'm looking for the right way to put it. You don't just throw words around because you know how valuable they are. And so you don't just throw them around anyhow. Whatever you are not to yourself, you can't be unto others, and you cannot expect others to be unto you. That is the lesson that I have been learning, and I've been learning the hard way. I've been learning it the hard way. And somehow I am grateful for that journey because it's part of the growth, it's part of the process. Now, I said something. I Sometimes there are things rooted in fear of rejection. And when I started the journey of identifying things some years ago that are um, kind of like influencing the way I see, the way I perceive life, and the way I perceive people, and then also the way I perceive myself, I realized that it was rooted in some, things that we've been through as children, what others have said around us, and you have allowed it to influence you, and therefore taking it up as part of your identity. It's so important in your journey of becoming that you identify those things that are not you. Those things that are not you, but have been what projected on you. They've been projected on you as being you, but they are not you. So, on your journey of becoming, I say it's a journey because we never arrive. It is a process. It is a journey. We never arrive, but you will be grounded or know who you are enough to be able to know what choices to make in life for the rest of your journey. And every challenge teaches us something. It brings something out of you. Something that you even didn't know that was there comes out of you. And that is what I call in my workbook, in the workbook, um, I talk about it when we reach perseverance, which is the ninth P. Perseverance, persevering through it all, not in a passive way, not in, being a doormat and all that, not allowing things just passively to happen, but being active. The same way with patience, being active in it and taking time to identify some things, learn, challenge yourself. It birthed new things in you. It birthed resilience. It birthed discipline. It birthed consistency. It birthed so many qualities, values in you that helps you through the journey as you are becoming. Perseverance is something that we somehow some see it as negative because why should you persevere? But journey of life or life's journey have taught me that those that persevere through the storms, those that don't rush quickly or give up, or, but you persevere like the eagle. You go through the eye of the storm, and then you find a way to glide with the storm, saving your energy at the same time learning, watching. The eagle, they have this excellent sight, vision. They can see them from very far. And so, whilst they are up there, they are not just closing and sleeping and relaxing, they are watching, they are resting their wings, because they are gliding on the wind, with the wind, giving them the speed, and at the same time also helping them to see and avoid dangers. So once the storm comes down, they know exactly where to go for their next target. They know exactly where to go to rest. They've already been there. As they are persevering through, they are preparing. And that is something we all need to start doing. Persevere is not suffering. I once thought that, as growing up, as you're persevere, you just suffer through. No, no, you don't just suffer through. You don't just wait, suffer until maybe one day it will become good. If you don't make it good, it will not become good. And so persevering is preparing yourself for the next stage. You are taking in, you are learning, you are preparing yourself for the next stage. You are not just idle, you are not passive. Perseverance is a tool. I put it there as one of the keys, because if you know how to use it, it will unlock a lot of doors for you. It will unlock a lot of doors, because as you are there and as you are taking notes and checking yourself, what is happening within me? How am I reacting to it? How is it affecting also my environment? Because it's vice versa. It goes like that. Nothing. You are not idle. You are not an island. You are not. How should I say it? Whatever you do affects your environment, and the environment also affects you. So whatever you do or you don't do still affects. And there you learn. You learn and you take note. Please take note. Take note of who you are becoming. Take note of what is happening and why. And then ask yourself, okay, what is it that I need to change to be able to change the situation? That means the change must come from you. The change must come from within. So if you are not willing to take the time to reflect, to look within and learn some things from yourself, to be able to know what do you need to change for your surrounding, it's not going to work. It is not going to work. And I thank God for, being planted in an environment that helps me to learn, that helps me to um, take the notes, and that helps me also put, like, kind of hold the mirror, whether you want or you don't want to see, that forces you to see, and for you to make the change, the necessary change that you need to make. I thank God for that environment. We all need that. That's why I asked the question, who are the people in our circle? Who are the people around you? Who do you go to? Where do you turn to when you need truth. When you need support, when you need the mirror, who are the people around you? Please, if you don't have genuine people around you that will help you with this, start looking for them. Because, we talked about people and the importance of people. People can break you, they can build you, they can help you, they can also destroy you. And so the people factor is so, so important in our development, in everything that we are doing. We need people. We need you. I've said it so many times this evening, no one is an island. You are not an island. And so you need to surround yourself with people that not only will tell you how wonderful you are, because if you that's all you are hearing, then they are not being faithful. They are not being truthful. We all have weaknesses. We all have working points. We are all work in progress. No one is perfect. And so if you don't have people around you that can tell you, hey, my dear sister, my dear brother, you have to watch it. Take note of this. And you are this pompous that you think, yeah, I'm this perfect person, You can't tell me what I'm doing wrong because I'm just doing everything right. Please dare to confront yourself in the mirror and see the truth. See the truth. You are not perfect. And you don't need to be. That's the whole wonderful good thing. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be you. You just need to be your best you. And so if you look into the mirror and you cannot stay 1 second with yourself in the mirror, you are escaping the whole time, yet you want others. Yes, I am. Thank you for asking the question. Yes, I am. And you want others to to spend time with you, but you don't dare to spend 1 second of your time with yourself. You have a problem. Then you have a serious problem. So please go back and check your relationship with yourself. Because that relationship with yourself tells also your relationship with your maker. Which for me is my God, my all in all, my everything. Because I am made to understand I am made in the image of my God. And so if I can't spend time with myself, I can't spend time with my God. That's just the honest truth. And the more you spend time with God, the more you spend time because you are feeling yourself, you are building yourself up. You are like, and that is how you can now also build this healthy relationship with others. So please check if you can spend enough time with yourself, build a strong, healthy relationship with yourself and with your maker. Don't expect others to spend that time, their valuable time with you, their love, emotions, invest all that on you when you are not willing to invest that on yourself. Why do I say invest? Well, those that don't know, I'm a teacher, so I love to break things down. Everything I say, I want to kind of explain it a bit to us. I say invest because time is a currency. And so how you spend, that's why we say spend. You spend what currency? You spend money. And so time is money, but it's not in money as in making the money, it is also money as you are spending it. So whatever you give out in time is gone. And it's supposed to what? Give you return. That's where we don't really take time to think things through. Seriously. We waste time. We waste time on unnecessary things, and we forget that it will come back, it will return. Whatever you spend time on, whether it is good or bad, you are going to get the return of it. So if you spend your time watching TV the whole time, well, it is spent. It is gone, never to return again. However, what you spend that time on is what will be seen also in you. So let's be wise when it comes to, life is built on principles. Life is built on principles. That's why my workbook starts with principles be the foundation. If you understand the principles, the mysteries in life becomes clear. It is no longer a mystery because it is the principles built in life. Once you understand it, you will you will make headways in life. One of it is time. Time is principle. Principles are built in time. For example, like I just said, how you spend your time is what that time will do, what will bless you in return. It's investment. How you invest. If you invest on fertile ground, you are going to also reap bountifully. However, if you invest and waste your time is gone. And therefore, what you are going to harvest is stagnation. We think that's just the truth. What you are going to get is not growth, but stagnation. And so, yes, time will be going because time is a circle. Time is infinite. Time is what? Infinite. It continues. My time will expire one day. Your time will expire one day, yet time still continues. So time is infinite. So if you understand the principles in time, your use of time will be what? Different. Your use of time will be different. And so you will know that your time is valuable, the time of another is valuable. So you don't want to waste your time unnecessarily. Like you don't want to waste your time unnecessarily. So whatever you are doing, you want it to what? Bless. You want it to bring something. And so the other also, and it has to be a mutual something. I want this person to be blessed. And I also want to be blessed by this person. I think just today I was discussing with someone um, about how sometimes we want to reap, if that is the right word, or how sometimes we think we are wasting time or we are not getting anything from others. I want to clarify something there because the time that you're investing is not always that you will what think someone else will give you something in return. But most of the time, we forget what you are becoming in that process. That is part of the receiving. That is part of what the receiving. What you are becoming in the process. So if all that we see is okay, what has that other one giving to me? It becomes a problem. Let me give a concrete example. Like as a teacher, you know, You spend time preparing, and you spend time, or at least you teach the student what you think is the best thing. As a teacher, if your only focus is just what you are teaching the student and what they are becoming, and sometimes you get frustrated because you are not like, you want the student to be there. Which, if you are like that, I applaud you. I go for it. Be that teacher, because that is the whole purpose, right? But because sometimes you're so focused on getting that student from A to Z, you don't recognize what you yourself as a teacher in that process is also becoming. That is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes you might think, oh, that student has failed, or I have failed that student. But you forget the time that you spend that you think has failed. What did you learn from it? You yourself as a person. What did you learn? My dear people, if you don't take every opportunity as a learning opportunity, one way or the other, you are missing out. You are missing out on some valuable things, because no matter what, the process that you went trying to teach or trying to get that student to understand something, and yes, maybe they did, only that maybe it did not turn out on the test that they did, but you see that that student did improve. Not only that, what you yourself learn: patience, perseverance, not giving up while others gave up. I can testify of all these things. That's why I'm saying it. Not giving up when others gave up. You've become a, do you know what you've added, the treasure you've added to yourself, and at the same time the treasure you've added to that student that maybe because of you has hope now. Maybe it's not yet there at that level, but it's not a failure. And so whatever you think, you are not seeing that result now, does not mean that you have failed or the student has failed. It's not that. You have become something. There is something, a treasure that has added to you, that you have received in that process. That's why I say we should take time and check within. That's what I started with. Check within you. What have, you know, how have you grown? What are the things that you have been exposed to, even if it is in a week, that has somehow deposited treasure in you? Or open your eyes to some things that you really need to do away with. It's also a treasure. We most of the time don't see it like that, but it is a treasure. It is, remember the mirror I'm talking about? It is a treasure that a mirror has been held before you, and then you can see some things and be like, I need to change that. Like, oh, I need to be honest to myself. I need to change that. Yes, it's not really a good part, or it's a weakness, or it's a hard truth. But yes, it only helps you, builds you, molds you on your way of becoming. So whatever you are not to yourself, don't expect others to treat you like that. Whatever you are not to yourself, don't expect to treat or to get that treatment from others. That's where we started with, and that's where I want us to end with. See yourself the way you want others to see you. Treat yourself the way you want to be treated, because it only attracts. I don't know if you've read the law or the book The Law of Attraction. You know, how you treat yourself, how you carry yourself is what is going to attract others. So if you treat yourself anyhow, when I was guilty of really, I was guilty of treating myself anyhow, like especially mothers. Oh my Lord, we push ourselves like the last place. Every other thing and every other person comes first, and we are at the bottom, like lowest. But we forget that if you don't treat yourself well, you cannot also bring quality. You can't bring what quality to any relationship, be it as a mother, wife, colleague, whatsoever. You can't bring quality. And sometimes we are so focused on quantity. The amount of times we do things and we've done the business, we forget quality. And the more you pour within you, the more you pour into yourself and take time. You need time to make time. You need time to make time. You need time to create time. In all that, it still boils out to knowing the time that you use and using it wisely, investing wisely in time. Because the best way to make time is to invest wisely to create time. I know I'm saying quite a lot, but I know also that you will understand. You will understand what I mean. You need time to invest. Time is a currency. You need time to invest, and you need to be wise in how you invest, right? You don't just invest in any and anyhow thing, because then it will not also bring you the time that you need, right? So you need time. So invest wisely in time. Investing in yourself is not a wasted time, because you are a fertile ground. As you invest in yourself, you will bring the best. You will just, your children will experience the best in you, because you're not tired, you're not nagging, you're not, you bring the best out of you. People around you will know that when they're around you, they need to bring their best, because you are bringing your best to the table. That's what I mean. I was so blessed last week. I took that time, honestly, to soak in and also to reflect. And all through the days, I've been taking that time to do just that. And those that have been following me for a while, I've been saying, once in a while, please do take the time. In a year, break the year into maybe three. We have quarter, which is 4 periods in a year. At the beginning, before the end of the year, you make your balance. And then what do I want to achieve for the coming year? You make it. The first quarter, break it. How far? Am I still on track? Check in enough with yourself, with your goals. Are you still in alignment? What are the things that have changed? The challenges that are coming. What do you need to change within you to be able to meet those challenges? The middle of the year, 6 months has passed. How far? How far? Am I still on track? Sometimes that is what I mean with creating time to make out time. If you take out that time to invest and really sit and go through, journal, right? How far this? y- you'll avoid some certain mistakes. You'll amend some things that you realize, I've been doing this past month like this. Let me change. I need to change if I want to get achieve what I want or need to achieve. Maybe new goals. You need to set new goals because times have changed. You do just that, but you need that time. Just following life just like that without any reflection, without any, analyzing things, you, yeah, anyway, we know what will happen. We know what will happen. So take out that time to create time, and then be bold enough. Be what? Bold enough to make the necessary changes. That's why I said changes are part of life, but we are so fearful. We are so fearful to change. We are afraid of the unknown. And so we will stick to the known, even though we know it is not always the right thing for us. But just know that change is part of life. Obviously, not all change is change. So do well not to just change for changing's sake, but change because it is required. It is mandatory for you to change for your survival. It is mandatory for you to change for your personal growth. You do that change because you need to grow. If you don't grow, you do what? You start dying. And so we don't want that. We want to grow and grow where first inwardly, in us. And as we grow within us, the growth will now be seen outside. And now you can start shooting upward. And I pray that the good Lord will help us on our journey of becoming, our journey of, um, self development, our journey of perseverance, because it's a journey, that we will realize that persevering is not it's not passive. It's not just lying there or just sitting there and just being there and more poor me and all that. That's not perseverance. That's wailing in self-pity. That's victimhood mentality, and you will not get far with that mentality. Our mindset is everything. Our mindset. And so as you're persevering, change your mindset. There, change your mindset. And it will help us. It will help us on our journey. And it will help us to, become. And so I leave us with this. I really wanted this session to be very interactive, but I did not get much of questions. So I hope next week, which is a new month already, we are heading to the last days. Because once we hit November, how many days is remaining to the end of the year. That's why I wanted to just talk to us. Now is the time to start taking inventory. Sit down and go through. And please get a workbook to help you with your journal things. It will give you clarity, and then you will know the goals to set for 2026. The goals to set for 2026. But I want to leave us with this: whatever you are not to yourself, do not expect others to treat you like that. Your best relationship is the relationship with yourself. Start treating yourself how you want others to treat you. Start loving yourself. Start taking care of yourself. Last, I said it like I'm on that journey of taking care of myself. And yeah, I can't emphasize enough how important that is. Take care of yourself. Continue even when it seems so overwhelming, because it will. If you are honest with yourself and you start, confronting yourself with some things, it is going to be overwhelming. But don't give up. Scale through, persevere through, and the end, the end will be a glorious one. Thank you all so, so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for the comments. Thank you, mommy. Um, be blessed. Have a wonderful, wonderful last days of October. Enjoy, stay safe, and may the good Lord guide and protect all of us. I will see us next week by His grace. Do take care. See you. Bye bye. I will see you all.